Where does one even begin? I don't know how else to explain it, but there's been one thing keeping me around in this rocky ass franchise since 2014. I started Destiny week 2 of 2014 when it first launched. I completely missed the whole controversy about the launch and how terrible it was and how it was the biggest letdown that Bungie had ever had at that point. That all that drama behind the scenes of Joe Staten and his team and the story being scrapped and all this stuff. I learned about that later, which explained a lot to that god awful campaign. But yeah, I remember my friends at school were bugging me to hop onto Destiny, and I was like, why? I was a Call of Duty player. I was a story game dude at that time, into stuff like maybe GTA or The Last of Us, Naughty Dog games, Telltale games, and Call of Duty because I liked Call of Duty campaigns. I didn't like the multiplayer, and I adored the zombies. But I've always been a story gamer through and through. So I didn't care. I was like, what is this? Some space Halo sequel thing? Well, yeah, I remember my friends convinced me to try it out, so I rented out Destiny on the PS3 at Redbox for 3 days, and I remember I fell in love with it. I completed the campaign. It was mid as hell, but I fell in love with the thing that kept all Destiny veterans. The gameplay, the flow, the supers, the way you could just switch from gun to super to gun, and I got really badly addicted. I got so badly addicted to Destiny 1. It was insane. That was one of the worst addictions of my life. I remember I played every single day for at least 4 to 10 hours of Destiny 1. It was so bad that by the point The Taken King came out, my mom took away my PS3 and I missed out on the entirety of the best expansion of Destiny 1. Oh, it was horrible. It was one of the worst experiences. That's how my journey in this game started, in this franchise. I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the universe and the story, because there's just something there. Even though the campaign narrative was awful, it was just getting started, and there was just something special about going to all these planets and seeing these vague, weird names and lore implications, and seeing and running into things like Xur for the first time. The feeling of getting your first icebreaker or Yalahorn or Thorn or Last Word, those are the things that kept us players in the beginning. Now, after House of Wolves came out, and The Taken King especially, stories started to pick up. Destiny 2, when it first came out, fumbled the gameplay horrendously. But the story was, it was fairly decent. You had characters with character moments, and you had a believable moment where we lost our light, and where we had to fight to get it back. And it was a decent Call of Duty-esque campaign. It was decent enough. Well, as the years went on, the thing that kept me engaged with Destiny, the gameplay and all that just kind of it stayed the same. It changed a little bit, but it mostly stayed the same. And I wasn't always much of a daily or a weekly or a hardcore grinder. I was the kind of Destiny player to load into the new expansion or season and play all the good stuff when it comes out, and just hear all the new story developments and get all the cool exotics, and definitely run the new activities like raids or dungeons. Well, actually, I didn't play dungeons when they first came out. I had a girlfriend at the time when Forsaken came out, so I didn't get to play much of it. But I would have, just like I did when Grasp of Avarice came out or Spire of the Watcher. I don't like duality at all. But yeah, over the years, I was always someone to be invested in the story. I like to look at Destiny and Destiny 2 since the beginning like a long-running TV show for me that evolves with each season. And by that I mean seasonal TV shows, right? That just changes and goes up and down. I'd like to compare it to The Walking Dead, one of the longest-running TV shows. Because to compare it to something like Breaking Bad, which is just perfect, phenomenal, that doesn't do it justice, because The Walking Dead has ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and downs. And if you're a true fan, you stick through those downs, and you just stick through it because you're here for the ride, you're here for the journey. And that's the decision I made when I came back to Destiny in Beyond Light. That Destiny has been an ongoing story and gameplay experience of both fronts, going up and down. This expansion, the story goes up, but the gameplay goes down. The next expansion, the story goes down, but the gameplay goes a little bit up. And then one expansion has them somewhere in the middle. And then you get like something like Forsaken, where they just highly over-deliver the trains, right? The train analogy that Justin Truman says about Destiny and Bungie. And then you just get all this crazy new stuff, crazy story, crazy lore, crazy gameplay. And then following right after it is something incredibly mid. Because they over-delivered. And you see, that's when I came back to Destiny and Beyond Light, I knew that. I kept that in mind. I kind of was keeping it at an arm's distance. But what changed for me was Season of the Chosen. Season of the Chosen, something changed in the storytelling area. And since then, Splicer, what's it called? Season of the Lost, The Witch Queen. Story just took a drastic uphill improvement in Destiny 2. They made a seasonal model that people mostly loved. And I gotta admit, Year 4 was outstanding. Because Beyond Light wasn't that good. But the seasons that came after it were phenomenal. And during that time, I remember the controversy of Luke Smith trying to sunset supers and how that just managed, things happened behind the scenes and he just got out and got replaced with Joe Blackburn, and how just all of a sudden, the story got improved. And then a little while later, during the middle of, I think it was Season of the Lost, they announced Sony bought Bungie, and it was like, wait, what? And things were just looking so good. And it was during that time, right at the end of Season of the Chosen, my favorite season up to that point, because of just how good it was, and just the character drama and the immersion. It made you feel immersed. I felt like I was truly experiencing a story game. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I'd always been a story gamer. Portal 2, Red Dead Redemption 2, Call of Duty campaigns, like especially stuff like the Black Ops series, the Modern Warfare series, those speak so much to me still to this day. Black Ops 1 and 2, Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3, the original. Like stuff like that, I adore it. The Last of Us, not the second one. All of the Uncharted games, especially Uncharted 4. I adore storytelling video games because I've always been a movie and cinema lover. And so to experience movies and cinema in a way that is not so much you're watching characters, but you're experiencing it, where you're interacting with the movie, that's why I adored stuff like Telltale Games, The Walking Dead series, and how good those were, especially 1 and 2. Oh my god, The Walking Dead 1 and 2. It's just phenomenal. So that's when I made this channel. Because I had another channel before this that I made Destiny content on, but it wasn't anything special. It was just like kind of like raid funny moments or funny moments from Destiny using edits and stuff. I miss it too because I had some good videos that I wish I still had, but long story. Yeah, I started this channel making memes right as Season of the Splicer began. And I really knew we had something special. The Witch Queen was crazy packed. It was the best, most immersive campaign experience I've ever had in Destiny or Destiny 2. It really gave me the sense of love that something like The Last of Us, when it first came out, would have given me. It really, truly felt special. And from that point on, I knew, and this is key, I was wrong. I knew that continuing this channel was just success. Was going to be success, going and going and going. This entire time since then, everything we've been given, the community hating Season of Plunder, I liked it personally, I thought it was fine, and just, all this stuff about complaints about the seasonal model, but the story was still good. The whole time, I was ready, just so ready to experience the Witch Queen again. But this time with the Witness and Callus, I was so ready to have some deep character development with Callus. I was so ready for just the Cloud Striders to just have all these great dialogue and just teaching us about, like I deadass thought that, there was a time I thought that Osiris would become a Cloud Strider. I thought there would be some crazy character development. That's what the implications were. That's where we were going. I thought it would be another banger campaign because Bungie advertised it as so. They bragged and advertised. And this is the point of this video. Bungie lied to you and to me about Lightfall. Let that sink in for a moment. Bungie lied to us deliberately. This brings me back to Curse of Osiris and Warmind. Warmind especially. At least Curse of Osiris had a fairly decent campaign. Fairly decent. It told the story, it got what it needed to tell, but it was still the worst expansion rating-wise and like numbers-wise for Destiny 2. But Warmind was the lowest of the low for me as a story fan. There's this video that Bife made at the time, because I've always been a fan of My Name is Bife. There's this video he made at the time talking about how he was just so utterly disappointed with Warmind because of how it handled Zol and Nokris, and how he greatly feared for the future of the in-game storytelling, taking lore legends, like things that are just written so phenomenally well in the lore, and just making them into these childish strike bosses. You should see my face right now. I agreed with every word, and now here I am. Bife released his first impressions video of Lightfall, as did I, and as did everyone. And I agreed with every last word Bife said about it. I know there will be comments in this video, there always are for some reason, saying otherwise, saying that, what? No, the story's great. What do you mean? What? No, I liked the story of Lightfall. But look at the Steam reviews. Look at the Steam reviews. Look at the comments aside from your comment. Read them. Don't just type. To stop typing. Read for a moment. Just quickly. You don't have to read the long ones with like an essay. Read the Steam reviews. Read that IGN review on Lightfall and tell me that you don't agree. Tell me that he doesn't make perfect sense. I don't remember the name of the guy who wrote it, but I listened to the Astrocross video on the 5 out of 10 IGN review, the one that got quite a bit of controversy in the community, and I listened to what he had to say, and it was incredibly based. He spoke a lot of facts. That was a true fan, stating his sheer, utter disappointment. And so in the end, what we have is the same cycle as we've always had. Fantastic expansions being followed by mid ones. Or at least ones that are decent, such as Taken King to Rise of Iron. No, Shadowkeep's actually great! Here's why! Gameplay. Okay, cool. I respect you if you are a gameplay type of gamer. As I explained in the beginning of this, I never have been. Ever. For me, it was always video games have always been a means to the end. I've always been there for the story. Stuff like Portal 2. Portal is fun because it's just so creative and so unique. And you're not really playing Portal 2 for the story. You're mostly playing it for the puzzles, for just how cool it is. But to me, that is the story. The portals, how they work, and the arenas, and how GLaDOS talks to you, and how Wheatley talks to you, that is the story. And that's what made it so good. And that's why, still to this day, Red Dead Redemption 2 is the best video game I've ever played. Hands down. I'm not much of a, multiplayer. I need to get like 80 kills. I need to be on this super kill streak. I don't care about stuff like that. Maybe when I was younger I did, but I want great cinematic experiences. And you see, I got that in The Witch Queen. I saw that in Season of the Haunted. And what I'm most upset about now is I'm seeing the same exact cycle as before. I'm seeing a great expansion followed by the year after it, seasons or not, seasons irrelevant. The expansion that dropped after the one that I love. I hate Lightfall. This was not something I ever thought I would say, but I hate it. I hate this. And it's not just the story. There's just something so lackluster about this entire thing. Every time I get on and I want to finish the post-campaign quests, or I just want to get the Stasis Glaive and do all the quests for it, I just feel just this sheer... I haven't even done the campaign of my other two characters. I haven't been able to do the raid yet. The raid looks great, but I just feel like just the Steam reviews for Lightfall, I cannot agree with more. I am a veteran who is here now, not for the gameplay, because that's always going up and down, up and down, up and down. I'm here now, especially now, because Season of the Chosen on showed us consistency. It showed consistency. Splicer and Lost were very decent in world building and storytelling, and The Witch Queen blew it out of the park. What happened? Who made this? How did this get greenlit? How did Lightfall get greenlit? How did they say that this story is good, that this is tolerable? Because directors have the final say in everything. In film, game, whatever. That's what a director is. The director directs stuff. They make the final choice. The editors don't choose for them. The cinematographers don't choose for them. The actors do not choose what they get to say. The actors are given their script. Who wrote this script? Because it sucks. Who wrote this? Everyone's talking about Lightfall was a filler expansion. Guys, the final shape didn't exist. It's not a filler. Lightfall was the final shape originally. This was the finale. It's been turned into a filler expansion. Whether or not Strand was meant for the Witch Queen or Lightfall, irrelevant. A subclass should not determine the quality of the storytelling. Are you kidding me? The Witch Queen introduced a new subclass, maybe not brand new, but it introduced Void 3.0. That didn't take away from it at all. And neither should it have taken away from the Witch Queen's story and narrative delivery if it was Strand instead. I've been here because of the story. And I just want to bring you to this point here. Because now, I do not trust Bungie anymore whatsoever. And the way they advertised Lightfall, what they were showing us and what they were saying, was heavily implying. They were heavily implying that this is just like the Witch Queen. And they straight up lied. Don't pre-order the final shape. You know what's going to happen. You guys know what's going to happen. The showcase is going to launch for the final shape. Bungie's going to tease all this crazy new stuff they're introducing. They're going to introduce a whole new system, new location, saying that this is the end, this is the finale of the saga. But because Destiny's not ending, here's the name of our new expansion. Destiny 2 Reclamation, following the final shape. Yeah, I made that up. It was something I thought of a while ago. You know what's going to happen. It's going to be hype. Everyone's going to be super hyped. The seasons are probably going to be going strong. And you know what's probably going to happen? The final shape is probably going to be baller. Because I bet you they're going to bring in everyone on board to make sure this sells and it does well. Because clearly they didn't prioritize Lightfall. But they're going to prioritize that like they did the Witch Queen. It's the final. Of course they are. Either that or it's going to suck. And they're going to pretend, I'm putting up quotes, they're going to lie about it like they did for Lightfall. Lie about it being this great finale when it's going to be this mid as hell ending. It's going to be one of those two. It's going to be either absolutely baller or mid as hell. But you see, even then, after this, after the lies of the Lightfall marketing, this is the whole point to this video. Everything I just told you up to this point, the Lightfall marketing was full of lies and deception. Willingly. It was so deliberate. Really, Bungie? You did all that marketing, and this is what you had? What is this, Battlefield 2042? What is this, Black Ops 4? Is this what the future of Destiny is going to always be? Let's say the final shape is the best expansion ever. It's like Witch Queen quality, maybe even better. Might be even Forsaken quality. Let's say they over-deliver their train. They pack it tight, and they send 2 trains while they're at it. Just like Forsaken. It's 2 trains of insanely packed stuff for the big grand finale. Everyone's hyped. Woo! And so you're telling me that probably the expansion right after it's probably going to suck? That's also going to be overhyped and advertised to be the same thing that we expected? For those players, let's say all the new players who are getting on board who don't know about this vicious cycle of over-delivery, under-delivery, under-delivery, over-delivery, under-delivery, under-delivery, over-delivery. Really? Is this just going to be what it is for all these years going on? There's going to be no consistency, no gradual uphill climb of quality, or at least some kind of consistency? Are new players and old players alike going to return and leave? New players coming in having no idea about what it was like to experience Forsaken and then go from that to Shadowkeep and to go from Shadowkeep to Beyond Light. They're going to have no idea because they come in on Destiny 2 War God or something, that comes out a few years from now. I also had faith in Lightfall because Sony. I thought this meant more manpower, more quality. and I got delivered Beyond Light. I got delivered an expansion that felt like it was made in a pandemic. Are you kidding me? This is the bar of standard that they consider okay to charge $50 whatever Lightfall costs. I'm not including the annual because to me seasons and the expansion are not the same. Seasons get sunset, expansions don't. Seasons only exist to keep us busy until the next expansion. That's all they're there for. Be honest. Come on. They're not connected. My trust in Bungie has been completely and utterly destroyed. I can confidently say I will never pre-order a Destiny product again. I have zero faith in the TV show. I have zero faith in any media Sony plans on. Please, by all means, please surprise me. Make something like unfathomably good, like Cyberpunk Edgerunners. Make something absolutely out of the park, fantastic, like Stranger Things 4. Do it, please. I would love to see that. But I have zero faith in Bungie and Sony delivering a good TV show. Zero. It's gonna be like The Witcher TV show for that fandom. Maybe it might be like The Last of Us. I don't know. I heard it. It's good. It just looks exactly the same as the game to me. I wouldn't make a TV show out of that, to be honest, because the game stands strong on its own. But whatever. Point aside, I guess it's for a different audience. But I don't have any hope that you guys are going to create something like Arcane for the Destiny universe. I don't. You're gonna create something mid, aren't you? I don't know what to do from here. I've lost all passion for Destiny 2 content, which sucks because I'm trying to make money so I can save and get out of my really crappy situation. I'm not greedy. I'm broke. I have like right now as of recording this, I have $9 in my bank account. I'm broke as hell. I'm not greedy, okay? Don't think that. And I'm just at a loss. I'm at a loss for I'm seeing this game that I loved, that I thought was going on a good trajectory of storytelling. I expected hiccups like a season or two, like Season of the Plunder. I'm sure hiccups like that would have come, but I wasn't expecting us to return to Beyond Light level bad. I don't know. Now every time I find myself playing Lightfall, I'm not having fun. I see really cool things like Excalibur, the raid, the post-campaign, and I'm just apathetic. Completely apathetic. This has been unscripted, so you can get a real, raw video from me. I couldn't really write this, to be honest. I felt like it was something that needed to be said. If you're a gameplay-based gamer and you enjoy things just for the fun of it, yeah, sure, Destiny 2 is for you. But if you're a story-based enthusiast, it's not for you.